Welcome to this detailed tour of NetSmartApp. In the next several minutes, we will start with the secure first login, then walk through every tile on the main dashboard. You will see how the product brings identity, name resolution, directory, mail, addressing, virtual private networking, observability, assistance, and health checks into one consistent web interface. On a new installation, the built-in administrator is required to change the default password before any management page can be used. Both password fields are masked and normal password policy validation applies. This step reduces the risk of an unchanged factory credential. After saving the new password, the administrator session continues directly into onboarding and the main control panel. The main dashboard is the starting point after authentication. Each colored card describes a focused capability, while the top navigation provides quick access from any page. The current user and logout control remain visible in the header. This overview is designed for fast daily operation. Choose a service, review its status, perform a task, and return to the main page without learning a different interface for every subsystem. User management controls who can sign in to the web administration panel. Administrators can search the account list, create a user, edit profile and policy settings, reset passwords, enable or disable access, and lock or unlock an account. Roles separate administrative access from ordinary authenticated use. These accounts belong to the management application and are distinct from directory identities and mailboxes, which have their own dedicated sections. The register page explains the licensing state of this installation. Individual users can use NetSmartApp free for personal purposes, while commercial, hosted, customer-facing, or revenue-generating use requires contact and registration with PWA apps. The page guides the administrator to the license portal and accepts the returned signed token. The DNS service page combines operational status with the most common administration tasks. It shows the configured bind address, port, domain, resolver address, and whether the service is running. From here, an administrator can start or stop DNS, open settings, and move into records, query logs, cache, route hints, or forwarders. Port diagnostics also help identify another process that may already own the DNS listener. The records view is where authoritative entries are created and maintained. NetSmartApp supports common address, alias, mail exchange, text, and reverse lookup record types. Administrators can add a record, review the normalized name, value, type, and time to live, then remove obsolete entries. Related DNS pages expose cache contents, forwarding servers, route hints, and query history, making both configuration and troubleshooting available from the same service area. Directory service provides centrally managed identities through an LDAP-compatible endpoint. The overview displays the listener address, port, base distinguished name, service state, and any port conflict information. Administrators can start or stop the listener, manage users, manage organizational units, and inspect LDAP activity logs. The directory is useful for applications or devices that need a familiar hierarchical identity source without deploying a separate full-scale directory platform. Directory users have their own lifecycle controls. You can search, add, edit, activate, deactivate, lock, unlock, reset a password, or remove an identity. User creation includes names, login information, email, organizational placement, and password policy options. Organizational units provide structure for teams and departments. Keeping directory accounts separate from panel users lets administrators delegate application access without automatically granting infrastructure administration privileges. Mail service brings the core mail protocols into one operational view. The page reports listener configuration and service state for SMTP, authenticated submission, secure SMTP, POP3, and IMAP. Administrators can start or stop the service, adjust settings, manage domains and mailboxes, inspect logs, test DNS records, and send a test message. Transport security, certificate paths, DKIM signing, and protocol ports are controlled from the settings and domain workflows. The domains page connects mail delivery with DNS hygiene. Each domain can be created, edited, tested, or removed. NetSmartApp can generate a DKIM private and public key pair, expose the required DKIM, SPF, and DMARC values, and create the matching text records in NetSmart DNS. A delivery test helps validate the route. Private key downloads should be handled carefully and protected like any other mail extends mailbox management beyond transport and storage. After mailboxes exist, an administrator can select a mailbox, browse the calendar by month, create an event on a chosen date, and later edit or delete it. The empty state links directly to mailbox creation, keeping the workflow discoverable. Calendar data remains associated with the selected mail user and is managed through the same authenticated administration experience. DHCP Gateway manages dynamic address assignment for a local network. The overview shows listener status, server address, pool range, gateway, and DNS behavior. Settings define the available client range and can point clients back to NetSmart DNS. Administrators can start or stop the service, review active leases, inspect activity logs, and diagnose port ownership. DHCP uses UDP port 67, so host networking and appropriate privileges matter in deployment. WireGuard VPN manages a secure tunnel interface and its client peers. The page reports interface state, addressing, listen port, endpoint, routing, DNS, forwarding, and network address translation choices. Administrators can generate server keys, add a client, apply or stop the configuration, test service readiness, inspect peer logs and live handshake or traffic information, and download server or client configuration files. Production use also requires the UDP port to be allowed by the external firewall. The logs page provides a central operational timeline, filters narrow results by service, severity, time, or text, helping an administrator move from a health warning to the relevant event. DNS queries, DHCP activity, directory operations, and mail behavior can also be examined in their service-specific log pages. Logging is especially useful during initial setup, port conflict investigation, protocol testing, and verification after a configuration change. The Assistant page connects NetSmartApp to a configured language model provider. A local Ultima endpoint can keep prompts on the administrator network, while other compatible providers can be configured when appropriate. The Assistant is intended for explanations, troubleshooting ideas, and operational guidance. It should complement, not replace, administrator review, verify commands and configuration recommendations before applying changes to production services. Health Check summarizes whether the application and its dependencies are ready. It reports the database connection and the state of DNS, DHCP, directory, mail, assistant, and logging components. A healthy web container does not always mean every optional network service is active, so this page distinguishes application availability from service configuration. Use it after deployment, after changing ports or certificates, and whenever an operational page reports unexpected behavior. NetSmartApp includes a dark theme for lower light environments and long administration sessions. Choosing dark updates the page background, navigation, cards, forms, tables, and supporting text while preserving status colors and contrast. The preference is stored in the browser, so it remains active as the administrator moves between services and returns in a later session. The light option restores the bright default presentation, which works well in daylight and on typical office displays. Switching themes is immediate and does not reload the page or change any service configuration. Both choices use the same layout and controls, allowing each administrator to select the most comfortable appearance without affecting other users or the managed network services. That completes the tour of NetSmartApp. Begin with secure user access and registration requirements. Then configure only the network services needed for the environment. Use the focused management pages for daily operations, central logs for investigation, and health check for a quick readiness summary. Before production deployment, review firewall rules, privileged ports, transport certificates, signing keys, database backups, and the licensing terms appropriate to the installation.